Anytime something bad happens, don't let it ruin your business. And for me, I got my second negative feedback ever since eBay reselling. Welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone had a great week. If you're new here, my name is Paul. I lost my job back in May and started eBay reselling to supplement my income while going back to college. I've also been documenting my whole journey since week one, so welcome if you are new. This week was an ass sales week. However, there's a lot of stuff that happened throughout the week in the business that I think is hugely important. And actually, there's one big negative that happened that is going to turn into a huge positive, I think, for my reselling business. So much to the point that I changed how I'm going to start doing everything from here on out. But we'll talk about that later on when we get through the numbers in the weekly sales. So let's go ahead and jump into it. We had a $347 gross sales week this week, which was 174 net sales. The week was pretty steady, and then I ended up getting skunked yesterday, though I do have a theory on why I got skunked yesterday, and I'll talk about that later on. Busiest day of the week, it looks like it was Friday with $82 gross, $42.71 net. Average gross per sale was $23.14, so it's really low this week. Average net per sale was $11.59. We had a 50% net profit margin this week with an average net profit margin per sale of 47%. Number one seller this week was sunglasses, and I did my first ever consignment piece for my mom, which we will definitely be talking about. $15.44 spent on new inventory listed this week. Cost of goods sold was $29.25. I paid eBay $55.36 in marketplace fees, and I paid parcel services $88.65 in shipping labels. Average time for me to list something in my store was 3 months. Average time to sell was 2 months. Return on investment was 842%, and the average return on investment by sale was 608%. The number 10 sale of the week are these Solar Shields Fits Over sunglasses. Purchased these on eBay for $1.12, sold on eBay for $15.65. That's $10 for the sunglasses and $5.65 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.26, which provided me a net return of $7.79, which is a 696% return on investment and a 50% net profit margin. Number 9 sale of the week are these Callaway Performance Golf Shorts. Purchased these from a St. Vinny's for $2.80, sold on eBay for $21.25. That was $14 for the shorts, $7.25 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.09, which provided me a $10.18 net return, which was a return on investment of 364% and a 48% net profit margin. Number 8 sale of the week are these Solar Shield clip-on sunglasses. Purchased these on eBay for $1.12. They sold on eBay for $19.33. That's $13.48 for the sunglasses and $5.85 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.43, which provided me a net return of $10.49, which is a 937% return on investment and a 54% net profit margin. Number 7 sale of the week are these Panama Jack sunglasses. Purchased on eBay for $1.12, sold on eBay for $19.56. That's $13.66 for the sunglasses, $5.90 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship, $4.46, which provided me a net return of $10.58, which is a 945% return on investment and a 54% net profit margin. Number 6 sale of the week are these Body Glove Sport Shield sunglasses. Purchased these on eBay for $1.12. Sold on eBay for $19.53. That's $13.48 for the sunglasses, $6.05 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $4.71, providing me a net return of $10.61, which is a 947% return on investment and a 54% net profit margin. Number 5 sale of the week is this Enro Ultra Point men's button-down shirt. I picked this up for $4.48 at a St. Vincent's. It sold on eBay for $27.38. That's $19.98 for the shirt and $7.40 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.80, which provided me a net return of $12.59, which is a 281% return on investment and a 46% net profit margin. Number 4 sale of the week is this Under Armour fleece quarter zip golf jacket. Picked this up at a Goodwill for $3.42. It sold on eBay for $31.20. That's $20 for the jacket, $11.20 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $8.05, which provided me a net return of $14.65, which is a 428% return on investment and a 47% net profit margin. Number 3 sale of the week is this Tommy Bahama men's Flamingo Lanes Paradise Nation shirt. Purchases at a Goodwill for $2.59. It sold on eBay for $29.25, which was $22 for the shirt and $7.25 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $5.09, which provided me a net return of $17.22, which was a 665% return on investment and a 59% net profit margin. Number 2 sale of the week are these Polo Ralph Lauren men's classic chino pants. I purchased these for $4.09 at the Christian thrift store. They sold on eBay for $34.58, which was $22.48 for the pants and $12.10 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $6.97, which provided me a net return of $17.81, which is a return of investment of 435% and a 52% net profit margin. And the number 1 sale of the week is this Calvin Klein women's 1X Peacoat double-breasted wool. My mom asked me if I would be willing to sell this jacket for her, but she wanted to keep the money so she could buy a new jacket. She wanted me to do consignment. So, of course, she's my mom. She's been an absolute huge supporter of me and this business, this show, everything. My mom has always been my number 1 fan throughout this. So, of course, I'm not going to tell my mom no. I told myself at the starting of this that I was never going to do consignment for anybody. We break the rules for mom. So we did a consignment for mom. It sold for $47.98, which was $37.98 for the jacket and $10 for the shipping. Actual cost to ship this item was $8.66, which provided my mom a $32.99 net return, and she'll be getting the full $32.99 for this jacket. Okay, a lot of stuff has happened this week that I want to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is I want to thank everybody who left comments last week and sent me emails and sent me direct messages with different advice for what to do for content. And there's been a lot of good advice. One thing that a couple people have reached out to me about, and it's something that I've been thinking about doing anyway, was doing a podcast here. And if I do it, I really want to do it. And I think I am going to do it, but it's just going to be a logistical thing. And I want it to be like meeting resellers from all around the community of all experience levels, not just new resellers, not just big experienced eBay YouTuber resellers. I want to have a mix of everybody. So if you are a reseller at any experience level and you want to come on and just be a guest on this show, that's something I'm going to start setting up. Email me, leave a comment, but just reach out and get in contact. I'm also going to reach out to a few resellers and see if they'd be willing to come on the show. And a lot of people gave me that suggestion. That's something I've been thinking about and I really want to do. But just like anything else, it's getting everything set up, finding the time, and getting it done. And hopefully that'll be a good time where we get to meet resellers and get new ideas from all around the community and see how other people do things. And I can definitely learn from that. And I'm hoping everybody else can learn from that as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate that. Next thing I want to talk about is, and I've talked about this a couple times, but anytime something bad happens, don't let it ruin your business. And for me, I got my second negative feedback ever since eBay reselling. And I got that Friday night going into Saturday morning, and I'm guessing that's probably the reason that I got skunked yesterday, and I'm hoping that doesn't stick. But it was a stereo, and the person left a negative feedback saying stereo works, but playback speed isn't as advertised, and the indicator lights don't light up like they did in the video. If they got a damaged stereo, I can understand them being mad about getting a damaged stereo. It stinks that they didn't reach out to me because I would have obviously taken care of it right away. But I immediately replied to the feedback and I DM'd the person saying, hey, I have a 30-day return policy. go ahead and open up a return. Let's get and I apologize. I said, I'm sorry that it got too broken. As you said, as they said, I took video of it fully functional. So it got damaged during the shipping process, and I have no control over how these items get treated during the shipping process. All I can do is refund the buyer their purchase and make them happy. So after I reached out to them, the customer was really nice. I just wish they would have reached out to me first before leaving a negative feedback. But we got that process all started and squared away. But that bad thing happening is now going to lead to what I think is a good thing happening for my business. Because I have now gotten 6 or 7 returns. And I'm pretty sure it's 6, but there might be one in there I'm forgetting. Of the 6, and I have buyer pays return shipping on. That's my policy. If you want to return something, buyer pays. And of the 6, I've had to pay for the return shipping on 5 of them, because there's multiple ways you can open a return where the seller is forced to where they have to pay for the shipping. And it's item not as described, and it's item arrived broken. So what is the point of having buyer pays when I'm paying every time anyway, except for 1 out of 7? And I've been doing this since May, and I've only had 6 or 7 returns. I'm a top-rated seller. I'm not a top-rated plus seller, because to be a top-rated plus seller, your return policy has to be 30-day free shipping, and your handling time has to be same or 1-day handling time. I've always had handling time set to 3 days just to give me the cushion, but every package I've ever sold has been either shipped same day or the next day. So because of this instance, I said, you know, why am I settling myself down and not getting the top rated plus when I'm literally shipping same day or next day, and I'm paying for the majority of the return shipments anyway? Let's just do those policies, make it to where next time I get graded, I'll be top rated plus. And that's my point of being positive when stuff like this happens. When stuff like this happens, find the positive in it. And yesterday, after dealing with the whole situation and going through it, I decided I'm going to go through every listing. I went through my policies and I changed them for every listing, and mass changed them over. Obviously, the ones that I had offers out on couldn't get changed, but you don't need them all to fall in line with the policies. So I'm really excited to see where that goes in the future. I will keep you guys updated to see if my sales numbers go up, because that's the big thing. If you get top rated plus, you're supposed to have a better spot in the algorithm. You're supposed to see more traffic coming your ways, and we're going to test that theory out. And this whole situation can be best summarized in Justin Resell's latest video that he put up this week, which, by the way, I created a community post on my page about it. If you haven't seen Justin Resell's most recent video, it's tackling with the mindset of success in reselling, and it is one of, if not the best YouTube videos I've ever seen, and I'd highly recommend everybody watch it. It's not just good advice for reselling, it's good advice for life. And I think so many people, when things don't go their way, there's a very defeatist mentality. And if you have a defeatist mentality, you're going to get defeated. Don't ever stop. When something bad happens, you learn from it and you be better tomorrow. That's what you need to do if you want to succeed at anything. If you have a bad week, it's one bad week. Make next week a good week. If you get a negative feedback, learn from that feedback. What are ways you can do to try to not get negative feedback? For me, this scenario, it was a stereo that arrived broken. I take video of all electronics in their functional state before I make a sale. All my descriptions are accurate. That doesn't mean that a stereo is not going to get damaged. I have no control over the shipping of it, but hey, I'm responsible for the item at the end of the day, getting to the customer arrive safely. So that's on me. And I don't look at it as the negative. I look at it as a positive of how I can better my business. Maybe I don't ship with UPS when it comes to electronics at all anymore. Maybe I just go solely to FedEx. Don't know. But that's something I got to figure out, but I'm not going to let it defeat me. I have noticed, and just to touch on the election, I'm curious to know if other resellers notice this. After the election, sales did go up, but I also noticed a lot of views and a lot of watchers on items going up, and I'm curious to know if other resellers are seeing the same trend. So let me know down below now that the election's over. And do you think people were sitting on the election and holding out, because I'd be curious to know about that. School, it is challenging this semester, but that's good in a good way, because it's graphic design, because this is what I'm going to learn. And I thought I was pretty decent at it, but I've also been using software that's 10 or 15 years old. And now that I'm using all the cool new Adobe Suite, it's completely different. And I'd be lying if I said it's not easy for me, even though I understand the concepts that carry over, just learning. And it's all learning the tools, trying to figure out the new muscle memory of what I could do on the old software as to what I can do now on the new software. So it's interesting. It's fun. I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, I think that's all I got for this week. Reminder, tomorrow is Veterans Day. So take some time out of your day and remember those who serve the country. And if you are a veteran and there's any free meals or anything offered out in your town, make sure you scoop them up. You earned it. Get you a free Applebee's dinner, or a free pizza at your local supermarket. Whatever you got around you, make sure you take advantage of it. I got nothing else this week. I hope all of you had a great week. I hope all of you have a great week to come. And no matter what happens, I'll always see you next Sunday.